Hello and welcome! So, first thing for this video, this is as the title probably read, a Shadowverse kind of news type video. So this is all the stuff that is hopefully coming and stuff that we know is coming very, very soon with the next expansion and upcoming event, which I thought were really interesting ideas and concepts. So I thought, why not do a little bit of a discussion and see how everyone kind of feels about this, because I'm positive about some stuff, not so positive about others. Either way though, first thing, we did get some kind of announcement that big news is coming in the next month of October for the 7th of 2019, of course. As you can see on screen, big news. This was on the official Shadowverse Twitter with a link to the Japanese webpage, which I will leave in the description below for you guys to check out. That's something to keep an eye on. I'm not sure what's going to be announced. There are a lot of ideas floating around. I doubt it'll be a new craft. That's the first thing I want to rule out. If it's a new craft announcement, that'll be really odd. Usually you want to announce that before a set releases, not after, because of course you want to include that set's cards, unless they come up with some other way to incorporate a new craft, but who knows. Competitive style stuff for esports in the World Tournament, that's coming up soon. It could be an announcement related to something in that space. We've also got the chance of a new format possibly being announced. That could be something that could be interesting. Of course, it could be an animation. We have already seen that Shadowverse had its all first chapters of Arisa's story animated. That's a possibility as well, that we could see something in that space. So there are a lot of potential options. If you guys have any ideas, throw them down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you possibly think could be coming with this kind of update, but it's definitely piqued my interest at least, so I am looking forward to seeing what could be coming out of this potential announcement. Now, onto the actual things that they did announce. So, as far as new features go, we got the new feature, which is, of course, card pack points. So, card pack points, basically, anytime you purchase a pack, by the looks of this, so you can then get points that you can then put towards potentially legendary or leader cards, which is really cool. So I'm actually a huge fan of this feature in particular. It does say earn 1 point for each card pack you purchased. You can also earn pack points, from the packs you purchased during the pre-release period, which we'll talk about next. Then we got trade points for leader and legendary cards. Card pack points can be traded for leader cards or legendary cards listed in the tradables. They also come with the emblems and the sleeves you would also obtain for the first time. So this is a way to actually get those potential things that you didn't get before, as far as like the leaders go, which is actually really cool. I'm hoping they're not super expensive. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, since up the top here, you can actually see in the image, it says max points, which is in the circle up the top. That's actually probably going to mean you have to reach that max, whatever the max points is. I'm not sure what it will be. I don't even know if they are yet, considering they're probably going to release this as soon as the expansion launches. Then you can trade for a potential card. You're looking in the next screenshot, it does say tradable cards, Rebirth of Glory. I'm not sure whether max points is for any set or whether it's only for that set. So if you purchase all the packs, say, for Rebirth of Glory, you get maximum points for that set. Then you can pick a card from that set, not from potentially the next set or onwards. I'm not really sure how that works. So there's a few more things that needs to be nailed down. They haven't released any statements, I don't think, as of making this video, that breaks down exactly how it works. But if it is a per set basis, I'm a little more iffy on it. It's only going to be really good for that kind of set run. Most people want to dip out of that set going into the next one, so that could be a bit awkward. Otherwise, though, if they make this reasonably obtainable and not super hard, like, say it's for every 50 packs that you open, you can get one card. That's okay. I think that's reasonable. If it's 100, that's a little it's a little harder. Like, I can usually average 200 packs, a little bit over that, in a whole 3-month set, and that's me doing pretty hard, not hardcore, but hard enough that I'm making sure I can get almost every card anyway. So that would be what, the 2 leader cards, that'd be nearly it, provided they are the same value as legendaries, which they probably won't be. Although, again, if it's just reaching max and then getting one, that's not so bad. It's an interesting way to go, though, and I definitely think it has potential, and I like that we're giving more options for getting things that aren't really too influential on gameplay necessarily, so that's cool. Then we have a new feature as well, so this is the pre-release feature. So I'm going to go into this saying I'm not a huge fan of it. Let's put that out there for the start of it. So it's got play the new card packs before the official release. A new rotation pre-release mode will be added to the private match and practice mode during the pre-release period. All cards from the 10th to 14th card set can be used in this new limited time rotation mode. So then it's got purchase with crystals. You can purchase up to 100 card packs from September 18th to September 24th, of course PT, for 100 crystals per card pack. You cannot liquefy or create pre-release cards during this period. Then we got special bonuses, purchase bonuses. There will be exclusive purchase bonuses available depending on the number of packs you purchase during the pre-release period. More details will be announced at a later date. Early access to leader cards and more. Leader card, emblem, and other supplies you have obtained during the pre-release period can be used right away. That's actually pretty dope. I like the last part. The biggest things that I find an issue with, okay, so the first part, where it's being able to play before the set releases, that's fine. It's limited to private matches and practice matches, meaning people can kind of test things out. The problem is, it does say all cards from set 10th to 14th card sets can be used in this new limited time rotation format, right? That's fine and all, but the newest set, Verdant Conflict, anyway, VC for short, is basically going to be impossible for any casual player to use at that point, because I don't think they're going to just straight up give you access to every single card in the set and let you mess around with them, and then let you, of course, purchase stuff after. I'm guessing it's going to be, you have to use the purchase with crystals first, then you can use those cards that you've obtained from purchasing to then play in that format. So you can purchase 100 card packs, which would be equivalent of 10,000 crystals. At that point, you cannot liquefy or create pre-release cards during this period, so you're going to be stuck with whatever cards you get at that point. At best, you're looking at least, at worst, you'd hope at least 10 legendaries, 1 in 10 card packs roughly. You could do a little better, could be a little worse, but you're looking at between 8 to 12 legendaries probably total. That's not too many when you consider the spread. You can't craft any, you can't liquefy any, which means you're going to be stuck with a lot of cards that you can't really do anything with, which is a little disappointing. Since you are limited to just using crystals, rupees and stuff are completely out, which means you have to spend cash to actually obtain them. And in that sense, it's only going to be crazy good for potentially competitive players, and maybe not even then. And then whale players as well who want to get in early. Maybe content creators who are willing to spend the money. I'm personally against this kind of practice, in the sense that limiting you just to crystals for a pre-release really does hurt the casual player base, and that's not a good thing in getting in early, so that's not a fun one. Being that the limited time, also the rotation stuff for private match and practice match, is probably limited to what cards you already have in your collection, and not just getting access to every card available, you're not probably going to be able to get to use these cards as often as you probably want for pre-releases, and I reckon this is a staple thing they're looking at pushing every single set now, so that's a little sad, I'll be honest, a little sad. If they allowed at least purchase with rupees and allowed casual players to then be able to open their packs early, basically, and be able to then test some of the sets out, while at the same time limiting liquefaction and creating of cards, or maybe even just letting people liquefy and create cards from the new set, and basically just allowing everyone to mess around with the set a week early, see what might be too overpowered in their testing, and then do small nerfs before the set releases, although at that point they may as well just release the set early, so I'm not sure how I really feel about this overall. It just feels really awkward. I understand why they're doing it this way. It allows them to garner more money, it allows people to test things a little earlier, and it allows the competitive players to sink more money into the game, instead of just, of course, doing basically what I and a lot of other more hardcore sort of players and creators do, and that's stockpile rupees and stuff for the set, and basically not have to spend any money at all. But overall, it's an interesting idea. I just hope that it's executed well, and I hope that they take any criticism well over it, as it definitely seems like just a cash grab at this point, pushing people to buy crystals, and that's not something that Shadowverse has really been known for, being super grubby with cash. Usually they've been a pretty decent free-to-play model and been able to easily allow players to earn what they want as they need it, and that's usually quite a good thing. So that's a little sad on that end. But the next one is actually a happier note. I'm actually really happy for this. A new format for the game is interesting. So this new format, I think, is the Gems of Fortune Cup will start 13th of September. So it is going to be, I think, a Grand Prix sort of cup format, which is cool. Hopefully it's something we can do in between actual Grand Prix. I actually like the idea of this. It says battle with a deck made up of 30 format exclusive spell cards. So the first one is 0-drop Gleaming Gem. You get 20 of those. Gleaming Gem, banish a card in your hand, which is probably going to be Gem, Crystal, or whatever it generates. Randomly put 2 different cards from your leader's class into your hand. So obviously you're going to be picking a leader's class at the start of the cup, and then getting a deck filled with these, and then you're going to generate cards off those. And since they go to your hand as well, it means you are going to get to, of course, play them, which is pretty cool. Radiant Crystal, those banish a card in your hand, randomly put 2 different gold or legendary cards from your leader's class in your hand. So that one allows you to get randomly generated gold and legendary exclusively. The other one's just any potential card from that class. So that's actually really cool. It means you probably won't see any neutrals, I have to guess. It does say from the class, so it's going to probably be no neutrals at all. But it's fun, it's interesting, we get a couple of fun ways to play the game, and I like that. A new format like this could be quite fun to play, and hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy that one as well. So overall, I would say we've got 2 positive things. One, we've got to wait and see what it actually is, and one I'm a little disappointed about. So overall, it's a nice spread of features, a nice spread of stuff, and a pretty interesting new format overall. And also, while we're doing a newsy style sort of video, I may as well add in the new trait, which is, I think, kind of like Natura. I'm not sure how I want to pronounce that yet. I'm sure someone will come up with a description with breakdown of how it's pronounced, as they do with every time I make a video like this. That's the new trait that's going to be across every class, kind of similar to Machina cards in that sense, just for the new expansion. And then the new trait, not the new trait, sorry, that was the new trait. The new keyword is Crystallize, or Crystal, I'm not sure. I'm just calling it Crystallize because it's simple to think about, or Crystallization or something like that. It's basically turning a follower into an amulet. So instead of playing, it's like Excel and Enhance in that sense, but you're playing it for a cost and allowing it to turn to an amulet with an effect. That's basically all it is. We'll go over it further once we go through the actual card reveals, but that is the other 2 things that are being added that we've seen so far. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Tell me anything you think about the new features and the big new upcoming stuff, because I'm very interested to hear what you say. Until next time, guys, see ya.